I don't have questions. I'm at Gebhards with Sue Costello. I don't have questions. I do have to say this, though, first. This episode of the Opie Radio podcast is sponsored by Books, B-O-U-Q-S, Books.com/Opie. Use the promo code Opie to get 25% off your flowers for Valentine's Day. Now on with the show. All right, we're here at Gebhards, and I'm sitting with Sue Costello. She thought I had questions. I don't have questions for you.
This is the most professional show that I've ever done. I just wanted to say that. Thank you for having me.
Why you think it's so professional?
Well, because we had to wait for the music.
Yes, we did.
And then you wanted me to go in the park.
Yes.
You said it was warm out, and it's like 42 degrees out.
That's warm in New York City in the middle of winter.
Warm.
That's guy warm.
Yeah, girl warm is...
What's girl warm?
70.
70.
Yeah.
Oh, you have that all figured out, do you?
I've done the math.
You did the math, okay. And also, we have Robert here as well, who knows you from the Boston days.
Yes, he does.
Yes, I do.
Hi, Robert.
How are you, Sue?
I'm excellent. I'm
Excellent.
wicked pisser.
Wicked Pissa. I love that. I miss that accent, by the way.
You never lost your accent. How many
love
years?
my accent.
How many years out of Boston?
I've been out of Boston for like 20-something years.
And you still have that much of a Boston accent, but I bet when you go back to Boston, they're like, oh, man, you've lost your accent.
No.
No. Okay.
No, because they're proud that I kept it. Because I always say, I mean, I've done interviews where they, like for my play, like theater people.
Yeah.
And they've turned the mic on. The first thing they say is like, why do you talk like that? You're so pretty. I'm like, way to take the knees out from underneath me as soon as you turn the mic on. And I've had to like really like brace myself and be like, well, one lady I said to her, I feel like you're uncomfortable because I'm reminding you that I might be working class. She goes, why, yes, it is. Like she didn't even know, like she was judging me and I had to like hold on to myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I said to her, English people have their accents and they lose it when they have to do something.
I laughed hard because when I was up in Boston for that about 3 years before we blew the whole thing up, the women really sexy, but the accent drove me nuts.
Oh, no. See, I lost my virginity to a girl from Boston, and it is just burned in my head.
Fuck me harder!
Yes, that's it right there. Harder, bang me harder. Oh my God, that's what gets you off, Robert.
Back then it did, but there's still a little residual piece of that.
Wouldn't that be funny if it became a fetish? Wouldn't that be funny if it was his fetish? Like that's all he can do. You have to do it in a Boston accent.
I need you to do like a series of Red Sox things right now. I need you to just start calling out players' names.
That was wicked pissa. You banged me hard. Oh my God, no! It used to drive me nuts because we would get the girls to call up and do all their sexy shit, but the accents without seeing them was always a turnoff.
Well, people always think that I look like I'm like a big woman with brown hair from my voice. And my accent.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you got the blonde hair, you got the blue eyes. You look like you could be in my family, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it could be related. I just have to drop the accent.
Are you from, where are you from, Dorchester?
Dorchester.
I'm going to like this episode. Because I miss Boston. I was telling you when you got here that I would move back to Boston tomorrow. It's a great city.
Well, the thing that I realize now that I've really been out of it is that they're salt of the earth. Like, they're really honest.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Hilarious
Yeah.
people. Like, I grew up with some...
Well, they give you a chance. When we first moved to Boston, they knew we were New Yorkers, so they kind of like would observe for a little while. Mm-hmm. And then when they go, all right, we're ready to make their decision, they embrace people up there.
And then they're good fans. They're even good
And
tippers.
then they won't leave you the fuck alone.
No. They're the best. That's why I never lost my accent. Are you kidding me? If I lost my accent, they'd be like, "What do you think? You're fucking better than me." When I went to my high school reunion, I didn't have anything. I didn't drink. I didn't eat or anything.
Yeah.
And the bill came. One of the girls from Charlestown was like, "You pay the bill. You're the fucking movie star."
Yeah, just because you get a little fame, they think you're really rich. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing, first of all. I want to get to know Sue Costello.
All right. So first of all, I almost died when I was born. They
Really?
gave me my last rites. Yeah.
What?
So I'm not even supposed to be here
Well, why?
because I didn't
preemie?
weigh enough.
You were a preemie?
I was full term. My dad says I'm full term. I was full term, but I didn't weigh. I only weighed 3 pounds, 15 ounces.
Oh, that's nothing. I got. No, it's
a guy with his empathy.
That's nothing.
Oh, I almost died. Oh, that's nothing, Sue. Let me talk about myself. I was worse.
No, not me. I got.
That's literally a guy empathy. That's nothing, Sue.
You should have survived at 3 pounds, is what I'm
I
thinking.
did.
To be honest with you,
Maybe they were over dramatic.
I think your parents were being dramatic because I'm right, Robert. I think if you're 3 pounds, you're supposed to survive. I got a couple kids in my extended family, let's just say, that barely made a pound.
Oh, that's small.
And now they're 5 or 6 and doing great.
That's small.
So where were you in the sibling order?
So I'm the second. So I used to always say growing up. So I had lazy eye. I was always tiny. I had to wear glasses and bifocals, and I was a nerd. Like I was literally vulnerable.
Yeah.
Vulnerability walking.
So you were
know what
the
they do in Boston when you have vulnerability.
You were the second born?
I was the second born. So my sister's the oldest.
How much did she weigh?
She weighed regular 8 pounds with a 10-pound Boston accent.
To this day, she rubs it in, I bet.
And I'm smaller than everybody in my family. So it was her, then me, then my brother, then my sister.
Oh,
so
you got 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
So growing up, I used to always say, and everybody always asked me if that's why I developed my sense of humor, because my sister was the oldest, my brother. I used to always say it.
Yeah.
Christine's the oldest, Jimmy's the boy, Trisha's the baby, and I'm nothing.
Right.
So I was totally the middle.
So you were in the slot, the funny slot.
Well, yeah, and I didn't have any really title. I didn't have any title, so I was like...
Were they all planned?
You're the miracle child.
I'm the miracle child. I should have been treated like that. My family would tell me to shut up right now. I try to tell them I was the
priest
miracle
came and
child.
gave you the last rites.
I know, and they should be honoring me, but no, they don't.
They were a little lazy up there.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have gave you an extra day
it
or
was
two.
St. Margaret's. It was church. They gave everybody the last
But was
rites,
everyone planned? Catholic family? Was everyone planned?
Everyone was planned except for maybe...
The last one?
Yeah, maybe. She was a surprise.
I'm one of 7. And my mom had no problem saying, and I didn't even want you kids.
You kids will be the death of me. My mother was hilarious. I mean, I'm serious. So nowadays, we used to come in, everybody would go in to eat lunch.
Yeah.
And me and my brother would run up this. I mean, she literally, we would run up the stairs, it'd be the middle of the winter to go have lunch. And you could hear her from the other side of the door. I don't give a shit if the Pope's eating lunch. You're not coming in this house. She used to torture us. And then we couldn't cross the street without her coming over the porch to cross us.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So we had to scream. When me and my brother would be screaming, Ma! Yeah. And Mrs. Fedorkowitz down the hall would down the street would come out and be like, shut up. And she'd try to cross us. And my mother would be blow drying her hair, vacuuming.
Right.
She wasn't trying to hear us.
Was she a cool mom?
I guess as cool as, yeah.
Yeah. Besides that,
she's still cool. She's cool now. I don't know about
back then.
Irish moms aren't the most touchy-feely moms.
Right. The best part about my mom screaming, I didn't even want you kids. I was the oldest.
It's really funny. It's
I was the
horrible
oldest,
and funny. It's tragically hilarious.
So I had something on my younger siblings.
Oh, you're an oldest?
I was planned. I mean, I was the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And I think maybe the second one. Third one, after 3, there's no fucking way. The other 3, no way.
And I think that affects you in your grown life. You have a solidness. You probably do have a solid confidence because you knew you were planned. There is something that you carry into your adult life from that.
My parents wanted 5, and I'm the oldest of 3. And after my third brother was born, my dad said, that's it. We're done.
We're snipping it.
3 boys. I don't want any more. And my father likes to, even to this day, will say, if your youngest brother had been born first, he'd have been an only child.
Wow, that's nice.
He's the one that's successful, got a real job and 7 degrees and all that shit.
What does he do?
He's in hospital administration and a nurse down in San Antonio.
I like it. A male nurse. I like it.
You like that male nurse thing?
Do. I like it.
Yeah?
I like when guys cry. I like the whole thing.
I cry.
I do. I like it.
Let's cry.
We could cry. I could make you cry.
You can make me cry.
Well, I could cry on a dime. Acting wise, I could cry if I had to cry right now. Even if the music was on, I could cry.
All right, could you?
Even if we were under stress.
Please cry right now. Please cry right now. I beg you.
All right, let's see.
All right,
but we might be quiet.
Would you actually get a tear going?
I could totally do it. Yeah. David O. Russell. I was in the fighter. He put the camera.
No,
on
I
me
know
and
you were in the fighter.
He was like, laugh, cry, do this, do that, do that.
All right.
But it might take me a second because I'm going to laugh because you guys are being funny. Let's see if I can do it because then.
Just think about being 3 pounds.
No, you know how you do it. You know how honestly, how you make yourself cry.
How? Pinch yourself really hard?
No, you don't think about, most people would think about like a funeral or something.
Yeah.
You don't think about that. You think about the kitchen table with the seat being empty.
Okay.
So it's always something removed from what you would think would really make you.
Okay. All right, she's going to attempt
I would have to go
cry
in and
on
turn
cue.
my head for a second, but
All right,
then
go
I'm
ahead.
afraid it's going to be too quiet.
That's fine.
The moving the seat away part. That goes right into depression.
Yes.
I don't know why my voice just got quiet.
As soon as she starts crying, I'm going to do the live read for Blue Chew.
See, now you're making me laugh. I was almost crying and you weren't looking at me.
Because man, am I going to get hard.
I was almost crying and you weren't looking at me. And then
Oh,
you made
really?
me laugh. Yes,
I'm
I almost
sorry,
had it.
but-
My lip was quivering
But
and
I love
everything.
Blue Chew, and it's a boner pill. And all right, I thought that would
Rich
be a
Voss
good
likes
tie-in.
that.
Huh?
Rich Voss likes Blue Chew.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck Rich Voss. All
I'm
right, go
mad
ahead.
at him. I never know whose show is mad at who when I go on them. I can't keep track.
I actually just said that to make you uncomfortable. I don't even think about it.
I
was just trying to
know.
make you uncomfortable
I'm
and
like,
hopefully
oh,
start
fuck.
really crying. I don't know. So, what did your dad do?
My dad was first he was a carpenter,
Right.
and then he became secretary treasurer of the Carpenters Union,
Wow.
and then he became a labor mediator.
Wow. Don't fuck with Sue
No.
Costello.
No.
She's connected.
It's so funny. Everybody always says that.
There's
I said
no
that to
doubt in my
mother.
mind. I'm not stupid. I know Boston.
I said that to my mother recently. She's like, your father, he's such a good guy, this and that. I'm like, Mom, why does everybody, every time I say that he was the secretary treasurer of the Carpenters Union, do they say he was connected? She's like, I don't know why they're saying that.
Did he paint houses?
Oh, you know what's so funny is that when I saw that movie, I was like, I was the little girl. I was the one that was that honest that everybody would be like, what? They would get freaked out around me because I was so honest and I could see the truth all the time. That movie was very triggering.
Triggering. We're talking about the movie The Irishman, nominated
Yeah.
for 17,000 Academy Awards, but Irish and Italian.
I haven't seen the movie yet.
Ooh.
You got to mark off like 4.5 hours.
I know that. I finally saw The Joker, and I finally saw the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
I saw that too. Ooh.
Equally as depressing.
I love The Joker. I didn't want to see it because of Heath Ledger. I'm like, no
was
one
so
else.
amazing.
I'm like, no one else should play the Joker after Heath Ledger, that old gag. And then I finally saw it and I went, wow, Joaquin Phoenix doesn't play.
And he tipped his hat the other night. He gave it to Heath. He said, "I'm the only reason why I'm here is because of Heath."
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
On
standing
his
on his shoulders, right? And then what he said? Yeah.
He
At the
was a
SAG
great
Awards.
actor. Oh my
No,
gosh.
but he made it his own. You weren't even thinking Heath Ledger. I didn't think that was possible. And I love the whole mental illness thing. How fucking creepy was that? Did you like The Joker?
I liked it all right. I feel like
What was wrong with it?
as an actor, and because so it's hard for me to, as an actor, I felt a little self-conscious for Joaquin that he was left hanging by Todd, is the director. Todd, what's his name?
Phillips?
He's vulnerable. He had a struggle afterwards because of what he did in that movie. But I heard Todd talk, and he said that he struggled with him about the bathroom scene when he was dancing in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And when I watched the movie, I felt self-conscious for him because as an actor, you're supposed to be acting private in public. You're not supposed to be aware of what you're doing. And I could feel that he was aware of what he was doing. And then when Todd said it, I was like, see, I knew it. Todd told him to do it, and he wouldn't tell Joaquin why he was doing it. You know what the screen's going to pick up. I mean, I was in The Fighter with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I watched him. He needed to know every single thing, every move he was making, make it real and authentic because the camera's going to pick up
Right.
everything. So in terms of acting, he was great, but I also feel like he was hung out a little bit,
By the director.
just a little bit, because I don't know if he didn't know it. I mean, he hadn't done something
Yeah.
like that. So
He-
in the
he's
context of being an actor and having somebody be in charge of your mental state.
Yeah, he's got balls because he looked ridiculous in his underpants.
Who?
Joaquin.
Oh my God!
he
That's-
looked ridiculous.
but
I'm like,
that's-
that takes balls.
That's private in public. That's the kind of shit.
That's
that
what you're
makes-
talking
yes,
about.
That's what makes people just absolutely
The
because
best.
People can feel when they're manipulated. People are smart. I always say that whenever I'm doing something creative and the suits are telling me to do something, I'm like, no. I'm like, people are not stupid. I'm like, you have to give them some credit. I remember when I was on Costello, we had a scene where. The story was the gorgeous guy. My friend wanted to go out with the gorgeous guy, and the only way that he would go out with her is if I went out with his friend Chappie Chappaquiddick. He talks so much, you throw yourself off the bridge.
That's great.
And so they were doing the scene, and they opened the scene up, and they're like, and so the Chappie Chappaquiddick, of course, is talking, like has diarrhea in the mouth, and he's talking on, and you can see me, and I'm like, bored out of my mind. And he's telling all these sniglets, like all these little pieces of information, like, did you know that gastroenteritis causes this? Did you know that Seattle had the highest suicide rate? Did you know that if you rub your elbow a certain way, it'll fall? Whatever he was saying. He was doing a whole bunch of them. And then at one point, the gorgeous guy makes a pass at me. So the audience sees this. And then my friend sits down. She doesn't know this yet. And I say, I have to tell you something. And she said, Sue, wait, before you tell me anything, I just want to tell you, you're the greatest friend that I could ever ask for. I can't believe how much fun I'm having. I can't believe that this guy likes me. Now, what were you going to tell me? And whatever joke they had was not working. And I went over to the producers and I said, the line is, I'm moving to Seattle. Because the guy had said earlier that the highest suicide rate is in Seattle. And they were like, they won't get it. They won't get it. We'll have to show that you moved to Seattle. And I remember just pulling in on myself. And I was like, fuck it. I'm just doing it. And they said, roll camera. And I said, I'm moving to Seattle. And the audience went wild. And
They howled.
Like, it was the first time. I was like,
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
They knew. They remembered
Yeah,
that
just
the guy
trust
said
me,
it.
man.
Yes.
You hired me. Just
And
trust me to
the
do this
audience.
shit.
Like, they're not
Yeah.
idiots.
You got to earn money on this podcast, and you've been like sold out. You've got to have a read right now. There's got to be
Robert,
somebody.
I like how you think. Thank you very much. Well, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, buddy.
Oh, it is.
But you don't have a girl, do you?
I'm in search of one. I'm currently taking applications.
Well, I guess you could get like flowers or something else for your mom at least.
I've got 2 nieces.
All right, you could get them something for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day right around the corner. You could get 25% off your order. You got to go to Books, BOUQS, Books.com/Opie with the promo code
Opie.
OPIE. Very good, Robert. Great Valentine's Day deal going on right now. Not everyone prefers roses for Valentine's Day. The Books Company, spelled BOUQS.
Oh, it's like a bouquet. I get it.
Not everyone prefers roses for Valentine's Day. The Books Company has you covered with a variety of beautiful styled bouquets. Do you say bouquets or bouquets?
I think in this case we should say bouquets.
All right. Sweet treats, plants, gifts, and
Plants.
succulents.
Ooh, succulents.
Do you have an example of a succulent, Robert?
I don't know if the sponsor would like that. I don't know what a succulent. I'm not a green thumb. I don't know what any of this shit is.
I love Books, but I don't know what a succulent is. I have ideas too.
I don't know if it fits for this show.
I don't know either. Bloom starting at $39. The Books Company is nationwide and offers next as well as same-day delivery. They even have flower subscriptions. The Books Company works with some of the finest eco-friendly farms because their flowers are sourced directly. They arrive fresher and live longer. Get 25% off your order from the Books Company. Go to BOUQS.com, Books.com/Opie with the promo code Opie, OPIE. They have a happiness guarantee, Robert.
I'd like a happiness guarantee. Opie.
Well, you might want to get a succulent then.
Yes.
Hey, relax. I don't even know what that means. Hey. The Books Company wants to make sure you love your flowers and have a great experience. That's why the happiness guarantee, you sick F. That's what I was getting at, Robert. Wedding and corporate packages allow you to save up to 80% versus traditional florists. All right, so get 25% off your order from the Books Company. Go to BOUQS.com, Books.com/Opie with promo code Opie. Thank you, Books. So your dad was in the union up there in Boston?
And I was in all the shows, all the variety shows growing up, and I used to put on shows at my aunt's house so I was always creative. And he was in the union. And I used to go picketing with him.
Yeah.
We used to hold signs
Oh
like on
my
Washington.
God, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he taught me how to negotiate. He taught me about leverage. I watched it all growing up.
Yeah.
So he would negotiate later on when he became a labor mediator. He would negotiate the contracts for the Boston Fire.
Negotiate.
So are you a tough negotiator because of that?
Now I am. Oh my God.
Nothing gets
my
by.
God.
You get everything that you want.
I just leveled CBS with the head attorney of CBS Corporation. I fucking negotiated my own contract. He thought he was fucking me, and I won. I've had like a push-pull career with Hollywood.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has had to do with being a woman and being in the sexism and a lot of the sexual stuff. Yes, absolutely, no doubt. But I've always stuck up for myself.
But how did you get fucked in Hollywood over the years?
So Les Moonves gave me my first 2 TV deals. That guy said, even when I went on Costello, he always put his money where his mouth was, and he was never sexual with me. He was the least sexual executive that I've ever been around.
Well, the stories are out, though, about him.
I need to say that for me.
Yeah.
He was the least sexual executive I've ever been around.
Right.
Yes, was he a fucking wild man screaming and yelling and fucking all that. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. And I said it to my father. It was so funny. I was like, Dad, a lot of these guys are assholes, but they didn't do what everybody's saying that they did. And my father's like, do you know how many men are going to be happy that you're saying that too? I'm like, well, I lived it.
Did that piss you off? He didn't hit on you? Not that you wanted that
Not at
attention,
all.
but it sounded like he was a wild man in that office.
Not at all.
That's a joke.
I know it's a joke.
That
but
was a
it's-
joke.
But part of what those were the stories that came out while they were
Right.
trying to merge the companies.
I saw him in a bathrobe once with Julie Chen.
didn't.
I sure
You
did.
did? I saw, what's
at
his
a
name?
spa in Connecticut. I was in this really exclusive spa, and we're waiting to get massages, and you have to go in this white room. Everything's white and has a giant window that looks over a little pond, and when it's snowing, it's like perfect. You want to talk about
Is
living
that
in the
Candy
moment.
Ranch? No.
No, it's up. It's the Mayflower.
Oh, I don't
haven't
know.
been there
That
in a
must
while.
be too fancy for
'Cause-
people with
well,
Boston
it's these days it's too fancy for me too. So the career's dropped a bit, Sue. I'm not going to the Mayflower anymore. So me and my wife are waiting for our massages. We're in bathrobes, and who walks in? Les Moonves and Julie Chen. And at the time I was working for him, and I just started laughing because I get to see the boss in a bathrobe, and
That's vulnerable, right?
he looks so vulnerable,
Yeah.
yes. And his wife just was like, ugh, I can't believe we have to hang with the help.
Oh, she was?
Oh, she was the worst, and he was very nice and stuff and cordial, and we had small talk as we were waiting for our massages. And then there's only one place when you're at the Mayflower to eat, and it's in the main room, and he's in there. It's us, it's them, and maybe two other couples. And you know that son of a bitch didn't pick up my tab,
He didn't?
and he didn't
He has
send over.
alligator arms. Oh, definitely he has alligator
He didn't
arms.
send over a drink or nothing.
No.
He gives me a little wave on his way
He
out.
keeps
I'm
his
like,
money.
you
Yeah,
know how
yeah,
much
yeah.
fucking money
Oh, no.
I made for you?
No, he keeps his money. Trust me.
But he knew who you were.
Of course he did.
Did
No,
you
he
say
worked
who
for
you
him.
were?
No, it was the Opie and Anthony day.
Yes, but let's face it. He was the head of Viacom CBS, and radio was down here compared to CBS.
I'll explain. So when Howard Stern got, he left, and David Lee Roth was a complete failure. They decided to bring me and Anthony back, even though they destroyed our careers, which is so fucked up if you think about it.
But of course, they do that all the time.
Yeah,
They fucking build you up like ants.
Yeah.
They make you build a mound, then they knock you down, then they bring you back and say, build
Yes.
a mound again.
I'm like,
That's how they keep you in control. That's how they keep you in power.
I'm like,
over you.
Les, you made this very hard by destroying our careers for 2.5 years, but we'll give it a shot, you
It's
son
like
of a
the
bitch.
gladiator
Right.
days when they used to watch the
Yes.
guys. They're like, do it again. I'll
Right.
fucking stab you and kill you now. Do it again.
Right.
All right, we'll do it again.
I'm like, do you remember when you guys fired us, but you kept paying us so we can't work for 2.5 years? It was before social
they don't
media, and by
remember.
the time we came back, pretty much everyone forgot us. And now you want us to build it up again? You're 100%
Yeah,
right.
that's what they
but
do.
to answer Robert's question, so when they decided David Lee Roth wasn't going to work and they were bringing us back, Les wanted to make sure we were in a good spot, so we had to meet in his office. And I was pissed off he didn't hit on me.
Well, here, the thing about the hitting, you're adding to your own demise. Just so you know, when you keep
Why?
telling those stories, because then you're feeding the
who
beast of the men.
cares? I don't. Oh, wait, say that again.
You're
Sorry.
feeding the beast of the men being disgusting instead
Well,
of.
Les can't hire anybody at this point,
But
so
I'm
who
not.
cares?
I'm talking about you. You're doing it to yourself by feeding the beast of like keeping the men being disgusting instead of like moving on from that and being.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was just making jokes, though.
I know, but that.
And I don't really need to work anymore, so this is a great place to be.
Unless you want to
'Cause
go to
now-
the Mayflower.
Well, I would like to go back to the Mayflower. You're not wrong.
See how I keep
You're
the
not
guys in
wrong.
line? I know. I have to
not
watch
wrong.
your own self.
You're not
You
wrong.
sabotage yourself.
I want to be in that white room
I've
again.
been doing this for 30 years.
You're not wrong.
I've been doing this for 30 years. Brewer, I was on Brewer's show
I love
forever.
Brewer.
I had to always bring him back. I'm
Yeah.
like, geez, like,
Oh,
Sue, what were we
man.
talking about? I'm like, let's get back. So I've done this for.
I don't have to work anymore, but you're right. I want to go back to the Mayflower in
let's
that
get
white
real.
room.
Yeah. I'll help you. I'll guide you.
Les was cool to me, though. And then I would see him at restaurants here and there in New York City, and I would always awkwardly walk over to his table, and it was always Julie Chen just annoyed, like, will this fucking guy leave us alone? And we were big stars for him at the time in the radio division, so I felt like every time I saw him in some of the same restaurants that I felt like I had to go over and say hi.
Kiss the ring. You got to go over and kiss the ring.
And
yeah,
he
it's
should
part of the
acknowledge
business.
who you are. All right, I'm on board now. I get it. All right. So you've got a couple of deals. He gave you your first 2 deals.
Yes, and then I got Costello. So from this pilot queen. So the story is very, very, it's crazy. Back in the day, I do my own pilot. I'm supposed to be on Murphy Brown for 13 episodes. She doesn't let me on. What I think happened was Les was trying to keep me from going on to ABC. So he kind of forced me on Murphy Brown. She probably flexed her muscles and got rid of me. It was devastating at the time, but that's what I really think happened now. So in that sense, yes. Did he fuck with people's careers? Did he do certain things? Yes.
Okay.
And then I got I got a call at midnight. Sue, you got to get on a plane. I just fired Ileana Douglas.
Wow.
From this pilot Queens.
Yeah.
So I show up, I shoot that pilot, and from Queens, I got Costello. Everybody was like, oh my God, she's the most real person I've ever seen. John Moonves was my attorney. And Les, he tells me that Les said that he loves Sue Costello so much that he doesn't even care if she ends up on a different network. And I never forgot that. I always remembered that Les. So that was like a sign to me that he had nothing invested in that. And I knew he loved me. I mean, ironically, he called me one day with Bill Cosby in his office.
Oh, really?
Yes. I wish I taped all this stuff. It was like foreshadowing. Sue, wait till you see what happens in 2017. It's going to be a humdinger.
You're just going to want to never take a drink from either one of us. So I want to do I have a question.
Okay.
One of the last times it was just Opie, you and I here talking to a comic at Gebhards was Judy Gold. She was saying that it's really tough for women of a certain age to get Netflix gigs because they're giving specials out to young people and even older guys. Are you finding that true?
I haven't been focused on that, so I don't know, but I'd listen to Judy.
I can answer the question. Of course it's happening.
Yeah, I would listen
It's
to
ridiculous.
Judy.
Someone like Judy Gold should have had a Netflix special many, many years ago. But for whatever reason, she doesn't fit the demographic that they're looking for.
So that's what I decided to just say, I'm not even fucking dealing with that. I'm going all the way. I'm going around it. So anyway, so I get Costello.
Sure.
Costello, they literally chased me around the set like, don't be like Roseanne, don't be like Roseanne, don't be like Roseanne, don't be like Roseanne, don't be like Roseanne. I mean, terrorizing me when I was exactly like Roseanne and I should have been more like her.
Yeah. I
should have stood my ground more, but I didn't know. And at the same time, my younger brother was in a car accident and broke his neck and was in the hospital back in Boston, almost dead. Wow. So here I am having my own TV show I was 27 years old? No, I was 30 when Costello went on.
Yeah.
And trying to handle all that. I mean, it was
that's a lot to
unbearable.
handle. I want to know more about the Boston comedy scene, though. So who'd you come up with back in the day?
I came up with Kathy Byron.
Yeah. What years were you up there doing comedy?
Well, I started right out of college, so 93, 94.
Okay.
But I left right away because I saw the sexism. I was like, I'm not staying here. I'm not.
In Boston?
Yes, I was like, I'm not doing this.
Right.
And I moved to New York, and then I was like, oh, sexism is everywhere.
I love that laugh of yours. I love it. What kind of sexism, though?
All of it, like in terms of going on stage, they would, it's so systemic, and I don't want to talk about it in a way that's like filled with anger.
Right.
Because I'm not filled with anger. I'm very pragmatic about it. I've lived for
Well, you were probably angry at the time, but
I didn't know. That's what I'm saying. I would pick up the rope. I didn't know. I didn't have the sophistication until I lived as long as I've lived.
Well, how would you act out as people are being sexist?
I would get mad because it was always insidious. You couldn't see it.
Right.
But I knew it.
Those blue eyes could get icy, right?
I knew it, and I was like, "You motherfuckers!" And they'd be like, "Sue's a cunt," and I'd be like, "Why are they calling me a cunt?" I'm like, "Because I'm acting like a cunt." It was very
but I have
confusing.
no choice because this is frustrating. Oh, that's a tough spot to be in.
It was like I was trapping myself over and over and over again. And no, it was serious shit. And I was like, how? So when I came back from Costello, I went to a women's symposium, and I was like, I raised my hand. I was like, this is what we have to do. Because I knew the sexism. The director was like, the guy who played my father, Dan Laurie, they were all acting so crazy. And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't really know what was going on.
Right.
And then the critics, they kind of panned it because it was about the middle class. They did not want the middle class to have power.
Really?
And I was going to empower the middle class. There's no doubt whatsoever. And I was a woman.
Right.
And so they and I remember having a conversation with Colin Quinn. I mean, Colin thought my show was the greatest thing.
Well, were they pissed that a female was the boss, basically? Because your name was on the show.
Yes. But they didn't even let my name be Costello on the show. It had to be Murphy.
Right.
So there were always these little
twists and turns,
little things,
little
where
tweaks,
you just look,
to keep you down, right, Sue Costello?
Yes. And I didn't know.
Yeah, That's has to be tough.
Oh my God! And then I came back and I told the girl that I was like, we have to admit the sexism. I felt like I was going at war, because with war you like see the enemy, you see what's going on, and then you figure out a way to win.
Right, but doesn't that make it worse by acknowledging it?
It was so
instead of like
hard.
just keeping in line.
No, because I couldn't.
No, good for you. But I'm just saying the reality is that maybe a lot of females over the years, they did better because they didn't like speak up about it.
Yes. But maybe that's not who they are either. So you can't blame.
No, so then they're eating it and it comes out another way.
And I couldn't live like that.
Good for you.
I couldn't. And I was like, I'll fucking take every hit.
Right.
I will take every fucking hit.
Right.
Go ahead. And
Yeah.
then they still let me around, though. Why have I been on every fucking guy's show ever?
Yeah.
See how confusing it was? It was
Right.
like, it's literally what they've done to me my entire career. And people are starting to see it.
Well,
They're
people
like,
want you on their shows because you're real. You don't hold back. You keep
and
it
now I
honest.
really don't. Now I'm like,
That's how I am.
but now I'm like, what I think is
let's
happening.
go.
Yes, I'm
Let's
telling
do
you. I'm
it.
like, you need to
When
co-host.
you get older, it doesn't matter anymore.
No, and also, I think what
Although
I'm
the
doing.
Mayflower, damn it, I want that
Yes,
massage.
we'll be rolling. If we see Les, we'll go, "What's up, motherfucker?
Are you getting
We're
a hot
on top. We're on top now."
Where are you at now? I'm getting a hot stone, motherfucker.
Sue helped me. I helped her. This is what all my work is
You know
about.
what?
though.
I'll buy you a drink now, because that's what a real man does, you son of a bitch. And why is your wife hosting a show? She doesn't deserve that. She stinks on Big Brother. How about them apples, Les?
And I'll just put my sunglasses on behind you and go.
Let it out. Let it out.
No, but that's what my work now is about, men and women working together. Both of our strengths together. It's because this whole getting rid of guys. I'm a straight heterosexual woman who loves men. I don't want to get rid of men.
Speaking of the Me Too movement.
Jesus. Here's the part of the show where we're not as evolved as we thought we were.
Well, Sue Costello, earmuffs on this next live read, okay? It's Blue Chew. Visit BlueChew.com. Promo code OPIE, O-P-I-E, to get your first shipment free. You know what the Blue Chew's all about, right, Robert?
Blue Chew's about enhancing your recreational time with a partner.
Just say boners.
It's a boner pill.
It's a boner pill. And the fine people at Blue Chew, I think it was about a week ago, they said, we're 75% happy with our association with you. So that means they need a few more guys to get the boner pills. Then they'll be at 100% satisfaction.
So that's why I'm here.
Yes.
You need me to go to, where am I going?
BlueChew.com.
I'm going to BlueChew.com.
Like the color blue, by the way.
And I'm going to do
BLUE.
promo code OPIE.
Yes.
This is a callback to another part of the show here where I'm going to need the Blue Chew as I'm currently accepting applications. No, I see that comes out wrong. I can't say applications. I'm entertaining opportunities to take Blue Chew. That didn't make sense either.
How about you just find a girl where you could get a cup
Yes.
of coffee with her? You're going
Yes.
right to the Blue Chew. Relax.
I was trying to sell the pills for you there, buddy.
I understand that, but if you show up at the coffee shop with a boner and you just
I know
met the
that's
girl,
I
it might creep her out.
I know. You don't
Baby
do the
steps.
right. That's on coffee number 4.
There you go. Blue Chew. Listen up. BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis.
I think that's great. No, Blue Chews are good. I've taken them before. They're very good. I don't need to, but it's good to have it in your pocket as an extra tool in your shed.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I fucked the whole thing up.
Now I picture a lonely Robert just sitting around with a boner, watching TV. Anyway, what else? It's cheaper than the pharmacy. You don't have to wait online at the pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package. So if you're worried about that, when your package comes, it doesn't have a giant sign on the side of the package that says boner pills. So it's very discreet, okay? They're cheaper than a pharmacy, like I said. And best of all, there's no more awkwardness. Right now, I have a special deal for you. Visit BlueChew.com. Get your first shipment free when you use the special promo code OPIE, O-P-I-E. Just pay the $5 for shipping. Is that okay, Robert?
That is okay.
All right. Again, that's Blue, B-L-U-E, BlueChew.com. Promo code OPIE to try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice. Well, the Me Too thing was very, very confusing for me because I thought it had to happen, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, well, who else? And then they really just
like
started
the
panning the room like
Yes.
you, and you, and you. I'm taking everybody out. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe the movement went too far.
I'm going to tell you about that now. So Costello gets canceled. I come back. I tell them we have to look at the sexism. They didn't want to hear it. The women did not want to hear it. They screamed at me. And I was like, ugh.
Right.
I was like, I'm like, I was on the front lines. I'm one of the youngest women to ever have my own fucking TV show. And they screamed. And then I would cave in. I caved in a lot because I didn't know how to keep going.
Yeah.
But I guess I did because I kept going.
Right.
And so flash forward, I write my play. For 20 years, I write my play because I was like, they canceled my show. Meanwhile, Mark McGwire hit his 60-second home run the night of the premiere. I was like a fucking drug addict, ruined my life. Another guy. I'm like, it's just like.
Wait, what?
Mark McGwire hit his 60-second home run the night of the premiere, but then it came out that he was on steroids and everything. So it was like, he ruined my show.
Why did he ruin your show? Because they wanted to talk about that.
They wanted to put him, and it's so funny. If you really look at my career, it's like, and what happens with women is the male narrative continues to take over. The male narrative, and then.
Wait, you lost me here, so I got to slow down. So
Okay.
McGwire hits a 60-second homer, but he's on steroids. What does that have to do with you?
He preempted my premiere of my TV show because they wanted to watch him hit his home run.
Wow.
So
right,
my
they ran
whole,
the game late. It would have been September, so it was the playoffs,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
So my entire career has been preempted by men and their stories, and a lot of times they're doing shady shit.
Right.
And in order to be a woman, to hold your ground, people aren't used to that.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear a woman say what she wants to say. So I would get knocked around, and I'm like, well, I'm going to say what I'm going to, like even with the Artie podcast, like I'm like, they were like, and I'm like, they call me a cunt anyway, so what do I care?
Right.
I literally got to the point where I was like, well, what do I care?
I kind of like the steroids in baseball, though. I don't give a crap.
But
As a fan, I want to see 600-foot home runs and giant, ridiculous-looking athletes.
Yes.
I don't care if they're hurting themselves, if it makes the sport that much better, right?
Well, that's going down a whole nother road of like, yeah.
I feel bad for you,
Right, he
though.
can do whatever he wants. I would like to have my own show.
That's got to suck because you
yeah.
finally have your moment,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden you probably have family.
I had a
and friends,
party in L.A. with a big screen.
and then all of a sudden you see the TV go to the
Yes,
baseball game instead.
yes.
Oh, wow, that's rough.
You're literally going to hear just how tough I am, like literally
That's
how
rough.
I've handled. I mean, that was like a public
Right.
humiliation and like
Well, I think it was just bad luck more than a humiliation.
it
right?
was humiliating in terms of, but internally. Like I remember talking to Colin.
But most
Colin-
people would say, well, of course the guy show him hit his 60-second homer.
Most people like men. Hilarious, you guys! I catch you all. That's why I know everybody's like, I'll talk to her. I have these things where guys in LA are having big meetings with their suits, and they're like, I'll fucking talk to her. Give me the phone. Then they call me and they throw the phone. They go, I'm not talking to her.
No, I'm trying. I love the laugh though. I'm just. You know what I'm saying, Robert. The Mark McGwire thing was a massive story. That's all.
The thing to do then, the network should have done more press.
You're right. They should like reassess and go, how do we handle this situation, which is what I was saying about the sexism. Yes, you have to admit things so that you can deal with them. If you deny things, it goes down. It just doesn't work. You know what they did? They had a promo of me dancing.
Right.
I wish they could see me on that.
It's a nice dance.
They had me dancing.
I like your dance.
They had me dancing like this.
Right.
And then they put it on the side of the screen during the baseball game.
You had to be that.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
You
the
had to be
rage
that?
it was inducing in the men. They were probably like, "Who the fuck is this broad that they putting on my screen? Get her off my screen!"
I used to hate when they did that in
Yes.
sports. All of a sudden, there'd
Yes.
be some like distraction on the screen for some dumb TV show. Not your TV
was
show, because
me.
your TV show should have been a massive hit. But in general, it was for. I'm like, what does this have to do with the fact that I'm watching this baseball game right now?
But that's sexist even in of itself. We're
Yes.
going to put the
Right.
blonde dancing
Right.
on the side of
Yes.
the screen in the baseball game.
Why do you agree to dance?
I was probably in a promo, like a fun promo, and then
Okay.
they, how do you know? Same thing. Like they
Right.
can edit anything and put it.
So
anywhere
you
and
did the dance for something that you
Yeah,
were
for
like, I could
something
do that,
else. Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
they take it and use it
Yes.
differently, and you're like, what the fuck?
again. So a secret thing where it would cause me to
Yeah.
act out, and everybody would go, "What the fuck is Sue's problem?"
Right.
Because you can't see it; it's insidious.
Right.
What
I
they do.
get
The
it.
Sexism
I
is
get it.
insidious. Same
To-
thing happened with
right.
Murphy Brown. They did a cast photo, and then instead of doing another cast photo after they fired me, they just erased me from the photo. It used to be in Vitello's.
I don't mean to laugh. I like misery. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're gonna love my story.
Sorry, I love
It's like,
Misery.
how could it get worse? I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'll show you it gets worse.
Oh, Misery's fun.
Oh, you like Misery? Keep your ears open. It gets
I
worse.
think that's why we all get along.
It gets
No,
worse.
because I get some of this
It's
stuff.
really
man.
funny.
It
Right? I mean,
gets-
it's like that's
man.
what I do. I do tragic comedy or funny tragedy. Like that's my thing.
Right.
So anyway, so after Costello, I start writing my play.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to write this play. I'm going to show what I was
What year
trying
are we
to do in
talking now?
Costello. So after 98, like 99,
Okay.
2000, I start writing the play, and I
Yeah.
do it. I put it up. I keep doing it. I keep doing it, and then I stop doing stand up for a little while to focus on the play. I get great reviews. I'm
What
like,
is it?
all right,
A one man,
it's my
one
life
woman
story,
show?
right?
Sorry.
So you can just call
No,
it a one person show.
One person? You
Yes.
just go one
You
person?
can identify.
I want
as
to
a
learn
person.
some of this stuff.
You want to? Yeah, you identify
Wait.
as a person.
I identify as. You want? Oh, okay. All right.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying. Whatever.
Fucking with you.
It doesn't matter.
So you do the show.
So it's a
You're
play.
writing the show.
So I'm writing the play, and then all of a sudden I see what I have on my hands, but it's not completely breaking through again. I get these great reviews. I get a standing ovation at the New York Comedy Festival, and again, it's not breaking through. And then I realize it's because I'm talking about the same thing that happened with Costello. And so they told me I was ahead of my time during Costello.
Right.
And I was. So even though Mark McGwire, I'm glad my career did not take off after Costello.
Why?
Because I would never have grown into who I am now.
That makes sense.
I just never would have.
Yeah.
I would have gotten swallowed up and probably went mental.
You don't realize at the time it's a blessing until
was
you
such a
have
blessing.
some time to reflect.
And the strength that I built over the years. Like I
Right.
remember putting my play up and not being perfect and just thinking I was going to die. I'm like, how am I going to? Again, into the abyss. I had no idea where it was going to go. So, anyways, so then flash forward to 2017. I'm ready. I'm getting ready. I'm on stage. I'm starting to do stand up again. Everybody's coming to me. ABC came to me. They wanted me to do a talk show. They wanted me to be on The View. I met with them like 15 times. They wanted me to take over for Katie Couric.
Sure.
She had a talk show during the day. I told them what my idea was, and they were like, you mean like Chelsea Handler? And I was like, no, not like Chelsea Handler. Chelsea Handler's on at nighttime, and you want me to do it 3 o'clock in the... I was so great. I was the same shit.
This is the day.
I was like, no, and I left. I walked away from them on it because I was getting ready. I was like, I cannot do the same thing I did. And I said that to them. I even said to them, I said, you can't, what me and you talked about, you cannot hire me and then have so many people, chip away at me so that by the time I go on TV, we have nothing.
It's not even close to what
And
the
then
idea
they
you
said to me, oh, we
you
do that all the
presented.
time. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh
no
my God, they
kidding.
weren't even conscious of what
And that's
they were
why
doing.
9 out of 10 shows fail, because what happens is they hire someone that's creative and funny, has a great personality, and then they bastardize it to the point that you don't even recognize your own idea that you brought to them.
So 2017. So ABC's coming, and then all of a sudden on stage, everybody's coming to me. This is before the Me Too movement happens. Everybody's IFC's coming to me. They're like, Sue, you're talking about what it's like to be a woman, and you're not mad.
Yeah.
That to them was so enticing because they
Right.
don't want an angry woman, I guess. I don't know. But I had been through it all, and now I
Right.
could articulate it and make it funny.
Right.
And so now they're really coming to me, and I'm like, so then I'm supposed to do it. The guys from China come to me, and they want me to do a tour, 5-week tour at the end of the summer.
In
5-week
China?
tour in China. They like, Sue, we want you to be we want you to headline. I'm like, all right. So my career's starting to pick up. I was in L.A. shooting a pilot. I was in Boston headlining, and the guy from China, it was like May or something, and I'm going in August, and he calls me and he says, Sue, we need your passport. And so I said, oh, I need to renew it. I said, as soon as I get back to New York on Monday, I'm going to do that, even if I have to.
Yeah.
And they needed a couple months in advance, but I
Yeah.
said I would fast track it, right? He goes, okay. He calls me on Friday. This is Wednesday. He calls me on Friday. He emails me, where's your passport? And I go, motherfucker, here we go, the insidiousness, right? Because in my head, I'm like, and I could tell you like 700 million of these stories.
Yeah.
But I go, I have to set a boundary with this guy. I can't go to China by myself if this guy's going to push me around. So I say, I don't understand. I told you that I'm going to do it I'm in Boston. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I told you that Wednesday. He goes, well, comics are unreliable.
Wow.
I said, well, can we just try to...
Figure
I
this
haven't
out?
been
Yeah.
unreliable. Can we not say I'm going to be unreliable
Yeah.
until I was about to walk on stage on Saturday night to headline, and the guy emailed me, I'm canceling the tour.
Wow.
This is what they do to women. This is beyond... The sexual and the business are equal in the sense that if they can't get you sexually, they'll get you financially.
Right.
and I'm sure this is a thing that they torture people with, where they cut off your finances so you can't live. This is one of the moves that they would do with me, because maybe not the sexual
So you think
stuff.
this guy had bad intentions bringing you to China?
No, I think his ego got hurt that I stood up to him.
Oh,
And that's what they've done to me. They've whipped my workout if they have
So
an
they
ego
would screw
problem.
you financially.
So financially.
And he could say, well, I was trying,
She was
I wasn't
difficult.
going to be like Harvey Weinstein, but they don't really. See, that's the thing. They don't. Financial abuse is also an underreported piece of the entire.
And that's what I want to talk about more than the sexual. Underneath the sexual stuff is a tactic to get to the financial, is what I want to talk about.
You're getting really intense now.
Because I'm really very clear
Are
about it. So anyway,
Do you actually think women should be paid the same amount
yes,
as men?
and that's it. And I think men should keep their dicks in their pants. That's it. It's simple.
No, I actually, believe that women should be paid the same
It's
amount
so
as men at this
crazy,
point.
but not only
it's
get
so
paid
stupid.
the same. This financial abuse is what I want to bring to the
In what way?
surface. I want to talk. All I have to do is talk about it, and every woman in America is going to go, motherfuckers. That's what they were doing to me. So anyway, so they cancel my tour, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm like, I can't fucking take it anymore. I'm not taking this anymore. What am I going to do? It was like, the only way I describe it too is it's like a knife goes through your chest. It's like somebody takes a knife and slices it right through your chest, and you're supposed to pull yourself together. I'm like, I can't even book anything for the rest of the summer now. I'm like, he just fucked me because of his ego. Can't go tell people. Nobody's trying to hear it. I wasn't going to go on any podcast and say, this guy, nobody was going to hear it before the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden this voice came down and said, Sue, go see Les Moonves.
Whoa.
And I emailed him. So this is what happened. I emailed Les Moonves. Everybody thought Les Moonves was God. You even said it. Head of Viacom, head of this, head of that, blah, blah, blah. I email him and I say, Les, they're coming at me. They want me to do a talk show and they want me to do a sitcom, and I need advice. Can you give me advice? Will you meet with me? He said, sure.
Really?
So in 2017, so what I did was I went beyond all the little
Right.
lanes.
Went right to the top.
But that never happens.
Yeah.
That does not happen.
Right.
It was like an unusual moment in time that set off a bunch of things that happened that you could never fucking expect. I don't even think he could expect it.
Right.
He said to me, Sue, I think you're ready for what's about to happen to you. Me and him should have said to each other, I'll see you in 3 years.
Yeah.
Because we're both going to go through the biggest shitstorm we could ever go through. Because that's literally what happened. I met with him in his office by myself, 2017. The man did nothing sexual. Nothing. Yes, did he try to get my content? Yes. Did he try to push me around fucking financially? Yes. That's what I was saying to my dad.
Yeah.
Like, they're not all free, but in terms of I was alone, but nobody knew.
Right.
And if he was going to do something, he would have done something.
Right.
Right then in that room. And if he had done what they said he had done, why didn't he do it to me?
Right. So you think he got effed? You do. Look at that smile.
Not only do I think it, I know it.
How do you know it?
A fucking attorney. I sat with this attorney, tried to fucking push me around last week. He took me out to lunch. I go, I think they framed him so they could push through the merger. He goes, they 100% framed him so they could push through the merger. And I was like, oh, and he almost passed out that he had said it out loud because I caught him off guard because he didn't expect me to say it.
Really?
Yeah, because he said to me that he
Should we say we have no idea what Sue Costello is talking about? This is her point on the whole thing and the conversation she had.
Disclaimer.
No, but you did this because I want to get back to the Mayflower.
I'm telling
if
you.
you didn't bring the fact that I need to get back to the Mayflower, then I would go with you. But now I'm trying to protect
But
my
this
own.
is how we're going to get
Yes,
back to
but
the
you want to get
Mayflower.
back to the Mayflower for the right reasons. You want to be able to hold your head
No,
high.
we're going to get back to the Mayflower because this is it. This is the new way. There's no other way. The old way's gone. You got to be. This is it.
I have no idea what happened to Les Moonves.
I told you were going to be
I
nervous
have no-
when I
I-
talked about it.
Huh?
I'm just telling you what happened with me.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what happened with me.
That's
I
what
met in
that
the
guy
office
said
with
to
him.
you. That lawyer said that to you.
Said what?
I don't remember.
No, he said to me.
You're right.
No, and he also said to me, Sue, you were in the office with Les Moonves, and you could have went and told anybody that he did something to you, and you didn't.
Yeah.
And that's when it really hit him. He was like, fuck, this girl has a lot of integrity. She didn't go tell anybody anything.
So you could have made up a story, is what he's saying, and
Yes.
you did not.
And that was actually how he had to see me.
Right.
It took him that long to get around to see what kind of person I was, that I didn't do something like
And
that.
that goes back to being born at 3 pounds.
That's right.
It all comes back around again.
It does. She appreciates life and what
I
she
do.
has.
I do. I'm very grateful. And I don't let fucking be. I didn't come this far to come this far. I didn't fucking.
Yeah.
I was. So anyway, so long story short, so then he wants to make a TV show with me. He wants to do a sitcom. He
Right.
knows. He already knew my talent.
Yeah.
He needs it.
He knows you could get the job done.
They need a woman.
Right.
They're in trouble for sexism.
Right.
I slam dunk.
Right.
So he sends me to his people. And then it starts getting fucking crazy. I mean, I could go on forever about this, but they start getting crazy, and I had no idea why they were acting crazy. In hindsight now, because I circumvented the whole process by going straight to him.
Yeah.
They didn't want me to go straight to him, and now they knew I was in the office with them, so now I could say that he didn't do anything to me.
Right. And that helps his case. Yeah.
But I couldn't. So then the whole year I go through all absolute insanity, and I don't know how I instinctually knew. I just instinctually knew not to go against my own best interest because I had done it for 30 years, and I was like, I'm not doing it again. I had no idea that the sex stuff was going on because I had never had that experience with him. So they tried to blow me off is what they did, and I knew how to do it. I waited 6 weeks to prove to Les that they didn't meet with me, and then I went back to Les, and he didn't know what was going on. And he's like, what? And then they were supposed to fly me out.
Yeah.
I said, fly me out. And they were like, we're not fucking flying. I mean, they fucking tried to rough me. Oh, my God. And then they sent me to a woman in New York and tried to get me reprimanded by the woman in New York. I didn't fall for it.
Right.
Then they flew me out there.
Right.
I pulled up my own NDA. They signed an NDA that to protect my IP, which has never been done before because they kept underestimating me because they kept thinking I was the old Sue, and because I was by myself, I had no agent and no manager.
Right.
And then they gave me the deal in January, and I kept trying to get attorneys to represent me, and they were trying to fuck me 4 ways from sideways. I was like, no. One guy cornered me in his office because my idea was so powerful.
What was the idea?
I can't tell you.
Oh.
We have to sign the NDA.
Yes, you'd have to sign the NDA, and then I would cry for you.
Then you would finally cry.
And so then they were all acting like animals, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, oh, I'm sitting on millions, if not billions of dollars. And then I was like, I told
Billions?
Les, because if it goes into syndication, I have a 3-camera TV show. I'm a woman. I mean, it was fucking slam dunk, multi-camera TV show. That's what they need. They don't have it. Everybody's waiting for the hit.
Right.
And I remembered I had told Les a little bit of the idea because I only went to him for advice.
Yeah.
But I had told him a little bit of the idea, and he's no stupid. He knew what the fuck I was talking about.
Of course he did.
Right. So then I pull out the NDA and I blow their fucking minds, and then they have to sign. Then they sign it, and then I leave, and then they finally give me the deal. And I try to go to the attorneys, and I learned so much from the attorneys, from them pushing me around. My father said to me, my dad helped me during the whole time too, because he's a fucking negotiator.
Yeah.
He goes, I understand what you're doing. He picked me up at the train one day. He goes, you're willing to take the hit so you can get the information. I go, yeah. He goes, you don't need me. He goes, you're the best negotiator I've ever met.
That's awesome.
It's so cool.
Meanwhile,
right?
if this doesn't go the way you want it,
I
he's
can
got
make a
7
movie.
unions that he can set you up with.
And so anyway, so then I told you.
This is like I'm living through a movie with this Sue Costello.
It is going to be like a movie. They're probably going to make a movie out of it. It's fucking
Who's going to
insane.
play you think?
I don't know. I'm probably too old.
Why?
I'm joking. Well, that was a joke. That was like a callback to
No, they
Judy.
always have someone else play you.
That was a joke.
I know, but who would play you?
Again, let's go back to the Irishman. You don't need that. They just put the dots on your face, and you could be.
I
you
was
could play
joking.
yourself
It was
the
a
whole time. I
callback
know,
to the
but
Judy thing.
We're trying to
saying that
get
they
you
can't-
funding.
No, it was a joke.
Yes.
I don't.
Back to the Netflix thing because Judy said that they.
The too old thing.
Yes, it was a joke. Joke.
Yeah, but all right, fair enough.
You know what? I just did the guy thing where I'm going to try and solve the problem. I admit it, and I'm sorry.
Stop trying to solve the problem. Let it be uncomfortable.
Yeah, let's let it.
I like uncomfortability and I like misery. I like blowing
your
things
girl.
up.
I'm your girl. I'm literally like the perfect tee up for you. You're like, oh my God, Sue's the
I
perfect
can't tell you how many
match for me.
bosses came to me and went, why the fuck do you like blowing things up all the time? I'm like, because life's boring. Because none of this means anything to me.
Nothing means anything.
So I'm like, oh, this is
doesn't.
exciting for you.
It really
Because
doesn't
you're
mean
making all the
anything.
real money. I'm sitting here like bored, so now I got to blow it up again
It
and
doesn't
see what's
mean
next.
anything.
Right?
None of it.
None
It's
of
like,
it.
that's what I'm finally around.
It's
I'm
all
like, fuck you.
stupid.
I'm like, what if I just say no? What if I fuck you? What if I just do what I
Yeah.
want? That's what I started doing.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you. What if I just don't do what you tell me to do?
Right.
Fuck you. What are you going to... Trump does it. I'm going to do it. So I started saying, and what if I do it for the good? What if I do it for...
Where you at with Trump?
Without Donald Trump, everything wouldn't have come up the way it's coming. I think he's a catalyst for everything, for the change that's going on.
Everyone already thought this way, but they were hiding.
Yes.
And then Trump made it
Yes.
okay. Oh, my
Yes.
mic's gone. Oh, they're See, they don't want me to say this. They don't want me to say this.
Nobody cares. No one will probably listen to us. But
Also,
so on.
cut out my feed. No, everyone thought this way. It's so obvious.
Yes.
And then Trump made it okay to come out from the shadows and speak your mind
So
about
it's the
all
same
this.
thing as the Me Too. It went really, really big, and it's going to reset.
Right.
Same thing with this. It's going to reset.
Well, the Me Too movement, then they start separating into factions when I think the women need to stick together
exactly.
at this
You're
point
absolutely
in
right.
history.
You're exactly right.
Because I've studied a little bit, and there's one group that hates the other
Yes,
group. I'm like,
you're
no, you
absolutely-
can't do that right now. I mean,
say
you gotta.
because women, we need to learn from men too. Because say it. So a guy came to me, a guy who works for the men's
Yeah.
office. He's like, "So you need to organize," and I'm gonna do what I'm doing to set precedent so that other women
Right.
who want to do it. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be the one that goes.
But at this
in.
point, the women need to stick together. You can't.
Absolutely.
You have your differences. That's okay. We'll get to that eventually. But right now, it's really important that all women stick together
Right,
to keep
but-
this whole movement
But
going.
what's behind that, right? And not only that, the commodification of the Me Too movement is part of it. The fact that people were making money off the Me Too movement. There are people that have built their careers off of women being victims, and if the women stop being victims, then they won't make money anymore. So there's
Yeah.
some of that going on.
Gotcha.
The press, the narrative. There's some woman wrote today about Tony Robbins is going to speak at some big, huge thing, and he's a sexual assault. I'm like, they don't give a fuck.
Right.
The guys don't give a fuck.
No, they don't
Stop
care.
writing articles about them and giving them press. Write an article about. So I did that with Louis.
Yeah.
When the New York Times came to me about Louis, they were like vultures. Like, do you know anything? Have you ever been around him? And trust me, Louis was not my favorite person.
Yeah.
But I have integrity.
Yeah.
So when they said that to me, I was like, is this a story to just take that? And this is hindsight. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know the whole. I said, is this a story to just take a guy down? And I remember thinking it through and being like, what if he kills himself? He has daughters. Like what?
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I'm like, why don't you do an equal article and mention women?
Right.
I've had maybe more success, like in terms of Louis. Why haven't I gotten big? Or it doesn't have to be me; it can be anybody.
Right.
And she was like, "That's not the kind of article we're doing." And then I started seeing, oh my God, this is like a
It was a hit piece.
yes.
But he did those things, right?
I have no idea what he did. But
Not
see
to
how,
you. Not to you.
But I see how it goes to that, and then the point gets taken away, and the point is what's going to make us move forward.
Yeah.
If we keep just saying, because that's what you do. I mean, that's like the quintessential biblical sacrificial lamb.
yeah.
Put all your sins on Louis, make him go away, and then we have no more sins. That's what the sacrificial lamb says in the Bible.
I'll tell you where I'm at with Louis. I feel like he should be able to continue his career at this point. He should be allowed to go on stage and do
I think
do
if
his
Louis
act. Like,
advertised himself, people would let him.
what do you mean advertise?
He doesn't advertise his shows. So he doesn't say, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
He just shows up.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it gets translated as he's doing the same kind of thing, like sneak attacking and
Oh,
not
he's
giving
being
people
sneaky.
choice and then fucking spewing all over them. Like if it would take balls for him to advertise, he'd have to take some fucking
That's
slack.
an interesting angle. I didn't know he was taking that approach.
Yeah, he's not advertising.
But I mean, he didn't. I mean, I think he's a creep. I think he's done creepy things. But I also
how many guys have done creepy things?
a lot.
And what are we going to do?
Take them all down.
Exactly.
But my point
Be
is
like whack-a-mole. We'd
But-
never get anywhere. We're so busy.
he wasn't convicted of a crime, so he should be able to continue his career. But I like your point that he's being sneaky about it.
And it's not.
I
That's
like
not
that.
that's not a character assassination. That's a mechanism. I'm just paying attention to all the mechanisms that we're all trapped in. That's causing us to perpetuate our own discomfort.
The one thing about the Me Too movement, the hat.
Oh my God!
The
I never
hat.
laughed so hard in my entire life. You're right, and you guys have a point. Like, why can't you guys have a point, even though it is the Me Too movement? Like, I'm very strong. I can listen to you, and then I can push back when I don't agree with you. Like, the hat.
The hat.
I never laughed so hard. Mike Britt made me laugh that night so hard I had to put it on video. He's like, Sue, listen, I'm all for what you're doing.
Yeah.
He's like, but who the fuck said I have a great idea? Let's put pussies on our head. He's like,
Right.
if that was me, I was crying, laughing. I was like, he's like, if that was me and I ever
Yeah.
did that, they would have thrown me out of that meeting.
Well, it's when the guys are wearing the hat too. The hat.
But also here we
I'm
go to
distracted
that-
by the hat. I don't even know what's going on
Exactly.
anymore.
It's like, you're right. But look at how smart you are. Like, that's what I'm talking about. About, like, if you give them one thing to attack when you're talking about something very uncomfortable, they're going to attack the thing you give them. It's like, that's not empowering. Empowering means being clear, straightforward, calm, as articulate as you can be, and consider others. You have, when you're negotiating, you have to consider others. So in terms of men, we have to consider men.
Yeah. So I think we've come a long way, though.
Absolutely.
We're
And
getting there, right?
going back to what you said, where the New York Times was saying, coming to you with, well, this is our angle. Yeah, but you're offering a better, more intelligent, it's going to take us a little longer to get there because it's a discussion. But yeah, no, it's that if it bleeds, it leads. That's going to sell papers. That's not going to get people interested. We need to distract people because collectively, we don't want to have that conversation.
Exactly, which takes us away from the business. So they essentially what they're doing, what the press is doing, is keeping us prostitutes. They're over-sexualizing us, re-traumatizing the women with all the sex stories and not letting them get their bearings so that they can continue on and do the business. So everybody's participating in this re-sexualizing and objectifying women.
Well, here's the problem, though. Any group that's in power wants to stay in power.
Exactly. That is right.
That's a major fucking problem.
Exactly.
So, to do the right thing means like men will be less powerful and then their cushy gigs go bye-bye. So
but it's already going bye-bye.
Yeah, no, I'm just adding that point to the discussion. I'm not saying it's right, by the way. I'm just saying that's what happens. The group in power wants to stay in power.
But I'm also in very much awareness that change takes tremendous amount of fucking work.
Let's look at it with politics right now, with the Democratic primary race. A group of people who took something Bernie Sanders said out of context. And he's tried to explain the context. It was a private conversation I had with Elizabeth Warren 2 years ago where I said, at this time, if you blow the whole thing back, or pan back, at this time, I don't think a woman could be president. That's my opinion. They zoomed in on just that a woman can't be president and got a whole bunch of people whipped up. And then...
That's something he said 2 years ago?
In a private conversation with Elizabeth Warren.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And
he was
said,
right.
Yes.
Oh, my God. See how the men...
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to become a voice for men. If you ever told me...
Right.
Oh, my God. If you ever told me that I was going to be a voice for men. But there is something about my right down the middle, my ability to see both sides that I'm really... He was right. A woman could not become president right then.
You know when I became more of a feminist?
When?
Have you recognized that I'm a feminist?
I like the way you're holding your arms. It does look a little bit more feminine.
I'm cold.
I noticed that you're more of a feminist because you let me on your show.
Oh, really?
I'm so grateful. All the guys are calling me now, and I'm like, this is so... Yeah. I'm so grateful.
Well, I mean, I have the reputation of being a shock jock and all that, and kind of looking at women as less, which was never true, by the way. But I certainly had fun with it on radio shows over the years. But when I found out I was going to have a daughter, I instantly became a feminist. That's when I'm like, holy shit. Know what I said when the doctor said you're going to have a girl?
What?
No! I screamed, and everyone looked at me
God was punishing you.
In the doctor's office. They all looked at me like, what the fuck? And because I know how guys are, and I'm like, no. For me, at that time, I've come a long way since then. She's now 7. I was thinking, it would just be easier to have another boy. And
but
blah,
even
blah,
look
blah,
at that
and,
thinking.
oh my God.
That's like
but my
so
thought right away
systemic.
was no, because I'm thinking. Know what I was thinking? The first time a guy comes over and wants to take her out, and I'm like, I know what guys are capable of.
That's what every guy thinks. So why not just talk about it?
And then all of a sudden, you became a big fan of the Second Amendment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you fucking white guys. I love that I'm making you guys laugh in the middle of all this.
In all seriousness, though, is better and deeper education an answer, a path to evolve us collectively?
I think the only way to evolve us collectively is for me to continue to talk and wake. Like what you just realized what I said by bringing that, and it made me happy. I was like, you're hearing what I'm saying because I'm saying it so calmly, and I'm giving back up to it. I'm showing you instances, and then it's making you connect the dots, and you're like, oh yeah, they just did that with Elizabeth. So what I'm saying about what happened to me personally with the press and everything, then you're starting to put it on, and that's what's happening with my play. People are like, oh my God, Sue's talking about what's going on in the country, politically. I'm not. It's just my life story. It just so happens that time has caught up. And what I was doing with Costello is now happening in the play. And now everybody's like, oh my God, everything that Sue's talking about is what's going on in this country, reflective. And what happened with CBS, I have a fucking great show. I negotiated my own deal. It's a brilliant 3-camera sitcom. But because they were trying to use me to fuck whatever they were doing, they didn't even see that. And what's going to come out is everybody, because I didn't let them do what they were trying to do. So now I still have my script. I'm still going to do my show. I'm never stopping. And people are going to be like, the one thing everybody keeps asking me is, why didn't they make your show?
Right.
It would have saved that. Why didn't they make your show?
Yeah.
And the more people said that to me, I was like, why didn't they?
Wow.
Because they were trying to stop my pro-woman show,
Yeah.
take my idea, and then make me look like a whore. Every single person, if I let them do my show back then, when the Les stuff was going on, every single person would have said, what did Sue do in that office with Les to get that deal?
Wow.
And all my negotiating would have went on, and they knew it. That attorney knew it because they knew the Les article was coming out. And fucking Mark Maron edited my podcast the day before, made it sound like I love Les, and then the Les article dropped, and I was like a fucking caged animal. And that's why Jared asked me how I did it mentally, because I was like a caged fucking animal.
Wait, what happened with Mark Maron?
He edited my whole podcast and told me he did
You
it.
were on Mark Maron, and what happened?
While
you told
I was
your story.
negotiating my CBS deal.
Okay.
I didn't know that the Les article was coming out. They knew the Les article was coming out.
Where he looks like a pig and all that.
Yes. So they wanted to get my script before the article came out, because I never would have fucking given them my script after the article came out.
Right.
They also wanted to get me because I was the last woman in the office with them, so they were going to need me.
So what did you say on Mark Maron's podcast?
I talked about the negotiations.
They edited it out.
He edited it all out to make it sound like I loved Les. All the negotiations, how they roughed me up, how they...
Oh, loved.
Yes.
Instead of respected less, like you've been saying here.
I did love him. He did. That's why I went back to him, because he said I love... But at the time... I didn't know what was going on, because even the sex stuff was so confusing to me, because I was like,
I'm so confused. Are you confused?
No. So what Brendan and Marin did was take out what we just heard, the truth of the story, edit it in such a way that Sue was a super fan of Les's, and you were respected. He did give you a break back then. You never had an issue with him, and you understood what kind of executive he was. You were able to put him in his place. But the public... The way this comes out on the heels of the story about Les.
No, the day before. So they do that the day before. They tell me they didn't edit it. I go, Brendan, I know you edited it because I know what I said. He said, Sue, we didn't edit it. I have all the emails. I said, Brendan, you're fucking gaslighting me. And then the Les article dropped. I go, you motherfuckers. I go, the guy from the New York Magazine who was going to write the story about my comeback. He was going to write a huge story about how he said, Sue, no human being can suffer what they suffered with Costello, come back at your age and fucking have a comeback. And he was going to do that. And then because of the way Mark edited the thing, and then the Les article came out, it was exactly what CBS was trying to do. Then all they wanted was a sex story. They were like, what went on with you and Les? What went on with you and Les? And I was like, these motherfuckers. I'm like, I don't even want to be involved in this.
They missed the entire point.
Who did?
No, the because of the way that podcast was edited, they missed the point of everything.
They never knew what I negotiated.
Well, right. So,
but that's what the plan was. Nobody wanted to know.
Everything got buried, and you become another victim of this.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Yes. And I would have looked. Everybody would have. I negotiated a deal that's unprecedented. I have points in my deal that nobody's ever had. They didn't expect me to not do what I did, so now I have the deal. And so eventually the deal's going to come out, and everybody's going to hear what I did. I fucking outsmarted the mother is what I did. And they don't want to admit that a woman did it. I'm completely
I love
clear.
the way you just phrased that, too. Let's go calling back to the beginning of the show with you outsmarted those motherfuckers.
I did.
That's awesome.
And they don't want to admit that a chick did it to them. And can you imagine? And then afterwards, they fucking tried to crush me so that I wouldn't figure out what happened. And they knew that if I went to attorneys, the attorneys would be either in bed with them or try to fucking say, oh, she's just a disgruntled woman. And I was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you. Damn. And I will fucking never go down. And now all of a sudden I'm like,
and then she smiles.
I'm so happy. I am.
And that was a precise number of fuck yous, which means mentally in her head she's just gone around a boardroom up in BlackRock going fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
She went from intense to a hyena laugh. This Sue Costello doesn't play.
No, I ain't playing. I'm telling you.
Wow.
I'm not playing because they put me. I did not set out to do this.
Yeah.
I set out to have my career be back. Lawrence Fishburne wanted to take my show to ABC. Everybody was coming at me. My career was about to take off, and they fucking tried to hijack it and make me look like a whore. And I will not fucking.
So you'll still make it happen. That's obvious.
Oh my God! Not only am I going to make it happen, now I'm going to be able to lay it out like what real. I'm going to get it out of the. I didn't take any money. I didn't take the. I didn't take the money from the deal.
Right.
They were asking me what do you want. They were gonna. Then I would have to sign an NDA, and that's the other thing.
I look forward to us both being on top, high-fiving at the Mayflower in our bathrobes.
We're going to show them who's boss.
Yeah, we are. Oh
We're going to fucking tell them
Oh, my God. Yeah, all right, calm down. Calm down.
We're going to say, fuck you.
Calm down.
And fuck you.
Oh, my God.
I get riled up. I can't help it. They crush me into a diamond.
Can you cry on cue to
I
end
don't
the
know
podcast?
if I can now.
Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Pay women equally.
Okay, I like that.
Keep your dicks in your pants.
Whoa.
Yes, unless
In what
you
way?
ask.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
And if you want to hug a girl, this is the other thing. Guys
I learned that
don't know
lesson
if I
way
want to
before
hug,
the
and they
Me
get
Too
really
crowd.
mad. But I don't care if you get mad. Just say, "Can I give you a hug?"
I said that earlier.
You did say it earlier, and some guys are like, "I'm not doing that." It's like, well, then fuck you and fuck you.
I always ask. I'm like, can I have a hug?
Yeah, and then
Right?
that's
I have
so
hope.
comfortable.
I do have hope. What?
I learned that at the age of 5.
Well, you're a good man. That's why
No,
you're
I
not
was brought up
successful.
right, too,
no,
man.
I'm joking. Because you said that, not because I said
I was always respectful toward the females, Sue
that. And
Costello.
now you have a daughter. I'm telling you.
And I have hope for her.
Opie, you
Unfortunately, I
let
don't
me
have
come
hope
on
for
here.
women that are going through it now.
You want us to? Well, what we're going to do?
Because I think the only thing that's going to really truly help is time. But you guys are paving the way.
Do it for other women, yeah.
Where you're going to make it a lot easier for my daughter when she becomes of
Which is
age.
another thing
and
that I
I think
said
she's going
in-
to have a lot more respect than.
Which is the other thing I said in the WTF that he cut out.
what?
He tried to fucking tell me. He tried to say, "Sue, you're trying to save the world."
Yeah.
And I said, no, stop putting words in my mouth. I just want to give people something else to look at. I want to change the lens. I want to show younger women that you can grow older and still be cool. And he edited it out.
This Mark Maron sounds like a real asshole.
He cut it out. He edited it out.
I mean, like I said.
He's a
I wouldn't-
super fan of Mark Maron. That's why I said
No,
that.
now he's not. Now
Well,
he's questioning it.
my eyes.
Now I know why you don't like the Joker, because Mark Maron was in it as Robert
I
De
didn't
Niro's
even
producer.
remember that's how effective his
Yeah.
performance was.
Half of it got cut, but
You know.
I paid attention.
Controlling my podcast. And my mic went out again.
We're all being controlled.
What
They're
the
going to be
fuck?
like, don't let those two together.
He's a weirdo.
But
He
that's
likes
what
cats and
happens.
stuff,
But think
doesn't
about
he?
what I'm saying.
He's one of those cat people, isn't he?
He's a cat guy.
But think about what I'm saying. They did me wrong and hurt my career, and I wouldn't have said anything. That's what happens with rape.
Yeah.
Women get raped, and then they try to blame the woman, and you're like, what?
Of course.
Because we have to, with same thing with rape and the same thing with this kind of abuse, you have to pretend it's not happening. That's why people don't always say something, because it's so, like you said to me, that was the one thing you did definitely directly
I only
asked me.
said one good thing today?
No, that thing that struck me when you said, isn't it really hard to admit to it? Yes, it's really, really, really
Right.
hard to admit to that level of injustice and
Right.
be like, this is really how it is. But it was the only way that I was going to go around it. And then I started talking. Like, I literally am doing things that...
Well, that's why a lot of women don't come out of the woodwork and talk about what happened to them, because they know a lot of people aren't going to believe them. It's insane.
But also, not
It's
only that,
absolutely
people
insane.
will say to me, I'll say, Mark edited my podcast, and they'll go, Mark's a very powerful man. And I'm like, look at how they hijack it. Look at how they say that, because they're so trained to think
Yeah,
that. And you know what I
whatever.
say to them? And I'm a very powerful woman.
He likes cats. That creeps
Right.
me
I'm
out.
probably more powerful.
Are you? The Mark
I don't
Maron?
have cats.
Cats are stupid.
I agree. Well, to your point, Sue, they just brought this out in the last couple of days in the opening salvos of the Weinstein trial here in New York City. His defense is saying, but we've got all these accusers. Well, why did they stay in contact with Harvey? And Elizabeth or Gloria Allred for the prosecution or whatever.
The defense. No, the prosecution.
No, she's
right.
on the side of the women,
right.
has been saying, yeah, because they had no choice, and brought all these sexual abuse doctors and psychiatrists and things like that. They're saying, well, because they're burying what happened, that's why they stay in contact. Or it's been such this, I need a job, or I'm put down, so I have no choice but to stay in contact with my...
The other thing that they do, this is the big thing, that this is what they do. They abuse you so badly.
Yeah.
They abuse you so badly that eventually they always say, oh, she'll take the money. They abuse you so badly that the money, you finally feel like I have to take some money to show for what they abuse me. I have to, and that's the worst way we fuck ourselves, when we take that final little bit of money. That's the worst.
It amazes me. I got to go to Robert's point. It amazes me how many people don't understand that point. Well, if it was so tough, why did they stay in that situation?
It's
And you
usually men
explained it
saying that.
perfectly. No, it's ridiculous that more men especially don't understand that.
But look at how I'm able to articulate it in a way that's more nuanced than just they needed a job. I'm able to put specifics to what actually happens and how they do it, and what happens to me as a woman, and how I had to I had to. I mean, women will say to me all the time, "Thank you, Sue," because it's exhausting. It's exhausting, and they do. They try to exhaust us because. And what's happened with me though is now I've become more fueled, more powerful. I'm not exhausted. I'm ready to go because I knew I had to. I knew that contract. I knew all of it. I was like, this is going to help me change things for women, and I'm not doing it for myself.
Right.
I'm doing it because they pulled me into something. I did not ask to be pulled into this. I did not set out to stand up for women or to fucking stand up to anybody. I was trying to do my TV show. That's what I want people to know.
Right.
I was trying to do my TV show. I dug myself out of such a fucking hole after 20 years of Costello. Rebuilt my entire career. Everybody was coming at me, and they fucking tried to stop my career. That's what I want people to know.
Perfect.
I was not trying to do it. And the other thing is, if I went along with what they framed me to do, the way they captured me, is I would have been complicit for every woman that came after me. I would have, if I said yes to it and just said, oh, it's too hard, oh, I'll take the money, oh, I don't care. Every woman that they abuse after me, I would be complicit, and I'm not complicit. So they essentially did what they do with sexual assault with me with business. They took me against my will without my consent.
This fucking mic. This mic is crapping out. Sue Costello. That was awesome. That's a good place to end this.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, I'm going to be headlining in Boston on the 28th.
Okay.
And then in Portland, Maine, 29th.
Well, this was absolutely awesome. Right, Robert?
Yes, this has been the highlight of my day.
Sorry, this mic is...
Do you want me to...
There.
Well, this is
I
very
fixed it.
profound. Look at the man's mic went out and my mic still works. I planned the whole thing. I am in power. Wouldn't that be funny if I clipped it and I was like, now we're gonna change the narrative. I'm taking over the whole fucking show.